Hey guys, it's been a week and a day. I'm sorry it's been an extra day, but I had some stuff going on yesterday that we're going to get into a little later. But there are people that watch my videos to see the progress, and we're just going to get that part out of the way. Then we're going to go into some comments. Stick around. Some of them are pretty good. And then we're going to go into just a little Ben BSing session. All right. So, like I said, I've been taking Mounjaro now for 17 weeks. I'm going to be going into week 18 with my shot at the end of this video. I'm going to do it. And that'll be my week 18 shot. Next week will be the week 18 update. So anyway, why am I on Mounjaro? A little background for you new guys that are just joining the channel. Why am I on Mounjaro? Were you overweight and obese and your doctor put you on it? No, I was overweight. There's no doubt about I was overweight. I was at 190 and I'm 5'9". So 190 is about 30 pounds over what I really need to be at, right? So that's a lot of weight, 30 pounds. But I had dieted my way on my own without any medication from about 240, 250. I'm not really sure because I stopped getting on the scale around the 220. When I passed 220, I was like, that's it. Anytime I saw a scale, I would just like avert my eyes. I didn't want to look at it because of the guilt that I felt about how much weight I had gained, right? So I decided one day, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I need to get healthy. I'm not feeling good. I'm waking up feeling sick. I need to lose weight. So I started losing weight on my own and it started coming off pretty slowly. But it was coming off. And then last June, I decided to quit drinking completely. I woke up one day, I had a hangover and I said, that's it. I'm done, right? And I couldn't believe it. I kind of thought maybe I'd have to get into a 12-step program or something like that because I was a big drinker. And I just quit one day. I just woke up and quit. The side effect of that was I started losing weight even faster than I ever imagined. My weight was coming off crazy fast. And I got down to 185, 190, and it just leveled off. And that was it, right? I was doing all the same eating that I was always doing, but I leveled off at 185, 190, and I had kind of come to the realization that that was it for me. I'm not going to lose any more weight. I'm 59 years old, so I'm pretty old. My metabolism is slowing down. That's still an okay weight, right? I am still overweight, but not terribly overweight. That's the way I looked at it. And besides, my goal weight is 30 pounds below that. There's no way I can even do that. I can't even lose any weight right now. I had just settled with the fact that that was going to be my weight the rest of my life. Well, then one day I woke up and my foot was tingling and I was like, that's not right. And it wouldn't stop tingling. So I called my doctor and made an appointment and she saw me the next week, took my blood sugar level was 474, that's my glucose level, and my A1C was 10.6. Also, my triglycerides were elevated and all kinds of other stuff with my blood that we won't get into with this. We'll just stick with the basic facts of my weight, how it's affected my weight and my blood sugar. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, I'm going to tell you my blood sugar average this last week, 94.3. And it's been between 90 and 100 for weeks now. And I tell you what, Mounjaro has controlled my diabetes. It's doing that. I'm on the 5 milligram dose right now, and it's controlling my diabetes perfectly. In fact, the 2.5 was controlling it pretty good too. But my doctor told me about the side effect of Mounjaro because she's on the assumption that Mounjaro is a diabetes medication because Zepbound, which is the same exact drug in a different bottle, is the weight loss version. And the reason they make two different versions is they don't charge as much for the diabetes version as they do for the weight loss version. And to me, that's terrible, right? That's awful. And insurance companies will not sign off on Mounjaro because it's diabetes medication. They won't sign off on it for people that are overweight, but they will sign off on the Zepbound, right? If I'm an insurance company and I want to save money, I'm signing off for the cheaper drug that does the same thing. So what's going on? What kind of collusion's happening? You tell me. What do you think in the comments? Anyway, I'm a kind of a conspiracy guy, so maybe nothing's going on, but this seems kind of weird to me. I don't like it. So anyway, they put me on this Mounjaro, and she said the side effect of this is you're going to lose weight, right? And I was like, okay. I was at 190, and I was doubting it because I'd done everything that I possibly could to lose weight. I'm like, this ain't going to help me, right? Well, I started losing weight. I went from 190 last week, guys. I weighed in at 159. I haven't been below 160 in several years. And by several, I mean almost all my life, since before high school even. I'm 59 today. So getting below 160 was emotional. I still my chest still kind of tightens up when I think about it, because you guys that have been losing weight and trying to lose weight out there you guys know how hard it is, right? You know how hard it is. And when you finally get, and I hope everybody gets this feeling, when you finally reach your goal, when you finally get to goal weight, it's emotional. I'm just telling you, I'm getting emotional right now, so we're going to change the subject. Anyway, so I was put on the Mounjaro for my blood sugar mostly, because my A1C was 10.6 and my blood sugar 474. You see what happens. Let's get right to the weight, right? Last week I was 159.4. Guys, I'm going to predict that I've gained a couple of pounds this week because I'm getting close to that goal weight. I'm trying to take in more calories. I'm trying to find a good calorie that keeps me level at that weight. Nothing that takes me up, that makes me gain weight, and nothing that keeps me losing weight. I want to get to that perfect balance of calories. So I've really been watching what I eat this week, and I've started a couple other things that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But let's get to the weight. 159.4 last week. This is 17 weeks on Mounjaro. My weight, 159.4 last week. My weight last week, 159.4. My weight this week, 158.8. 158.8, that's still losing weight, and that's okay because my goal weight is between 150 and 160. So I'm still trying to level that out like I was talking about earlier, and that's a 0.6 pound weight loss this week. 0.6 pounds, so just over half a pound, and that's perfect. We're slowing that weight loss down. I know this sounds weird. Trying to slow your weight loss down, what? I never thought those words, honestly, would ever come out of my mouth. But we're at the point now where I'm getting close to my goal weight. I need to slow it down, and I am. 0.6 pounds this week, that's great. I just need to eat a little bit more. So we're going to stay on the 5 milligram dose because it is controlling my diabetes perfectly. And we're going to stay on the 5 milligram dose for a little while longer. Hopefully I can take in more calories to kind of stop that weight loss. We're going to try anyway, and we're going to avoid the bad calories like fast food. I've cut that out of my diet completely. All fast foods out. All right, so you got my blood sugar situation this week. You have my weight situation this week. So that update is basically done for this week. I wanted to get in and talk about some side effects right now, and then we're going to get into some comments and then Ben BS, right? I know somebody's asking right now, why are you wearing a damn hat, Ben? Because I wasn't able to get a haircut. I went up to my barber yesterday, and all the barbers that cut my hair are out with the flu, right? Year ago, 2 years ago, the flu didn't exist. It was all COVID, but they're out with the actual flu apparently. So I have to go back later, but I'm wearing a hat because my hair is way out of control and it's crazy. So that's why I'm wearing a hat. Anyway, let's talk about some of the side effects. The top 3 for me have been, and this is the newest one, has been the one that I'm going to talk about first. Being tired. Every once in a while in the afternoon around 3 o'clock, I am just wore out. There's no reason for it. I haven't physically exerted myself. You know, the only reason it could possibly be is I've been waking up in the middle of the night every night for the last 4 weeks with my foot. But even then, the tired that I feel at 3 o'clock it doesn't seem like I should be that tired. So I'm considering it a side effect. The second one is the nausea. That has gotten better with time, but I'm still getting it every once in a while. And I had it this week one time. Not as bad as the previous weeks. I'm starting to get used to this 5 milligram injection. But the nausea has far lessened, right? I had it for a couple hours one morning. Not once this week did it wake me up and I felt like I was going to be sick. And that's a good sign because that's been happening to me. And another side effect in the top 3 is constipation. I still have not been able to get a handle on it, but I'm going to be trying all kinds of stuff to make sure that happens. And if I need to talk to my doctor about getting on a prescription for constipation, then that's what I'll do. I've tried the over-the-counter stuff and it doesn't seem to really work that well. Although I will say with my bowel movements are getting more solid, less loose when I do have them. When I do go to, what used to be, when I went to the bathroom, it was 100% diarrhea, really loose stools. A couple of days ago, had some really good ones. I mean, you could build a Lincoln log cabin with them. I don't mean to get gross, but you know what I'm saying. I was pretty proud of them, to be honest. I know that's weird. Sorry. Let's get into some comments, you guys. Let's get off that subject. I was asking in a previous video how much people were paying for their Mounjaro or their Zepbound or whatever. And at Cranbears responded, and he said, I take Zepbound, and he pays $1,020 a month, $1,020 a month. That's $250 plus an injection. That's crazy. It shouldn't be like that, and it does seem unfair to me that the pharmaceutical companies would charge this much for this drug. And they only do it because they know the demand is going to be high and people will pay it. And I think that's wrong. I think that's morally wrong, and we need to get someplace in this country where we have rules against that kind of price gouging, in my opinion. At Nikki1688 asked, how long have you been on 5 milligrams, and do you plan on increasing the dose or no, since the 5 milligrams is working? Well, you answered your own question, I think. The 5 milligrams is still working for me. So there's no reason for me to increase my dose or decrease it. I've been on the 5 milligram dose now for 12 weeks. Today will be my 13th week. I'll take my 13th week injection, and we'll update it next week, tell you how I'm doing. But for right now, I'm going to remain on the 5 milligram. And if anything, I'll probably have to decrease down to 2.5 if I can't stop the weight loss. It was only 0.6 pounds this week, so it's slowing down. There's hope. Maybe I'll stay on the 5 milligrams if I can bring in enough calories. If not, I need to go to the 2.5. Even the 2.5 was controlling my blood glucose and diabetes very well. So hopefully it'll be able to continue to do that. So 5 milligrams for now, been on it for 12 weeks. At TMB7415 says, I'm only pre-diabetic, so my insurance denied me Mounjaro/Zepbound. So disappointed. I hate the system is reactive and won't treat things before they begin damage to your body. And I can tell you from personal experience that that's right. Had they put me on Mounjaro a year ago, I probably wouldn't have the foot problems that I have. And this is a good time to talk to you guys about my foot, because I've been talking about it for weeks and I thought it might be a side effect of Mounjaro. I was hoping it wasn't, because I don't want to come off this stuff, but better safe than sorry. So I went in and saw a podiatrist, and actually what I have is osteoarthritis in my foot. I've got bone spurs as well, and it's just getting worse and worse. So in order to stop the tingling, and my foot has been waking me up for weeks, like 6-7 weeks. It's been waking me up at least once, if not twice, at night, and the pain has been unreal, right? When I first got diagnosed with this, they gave me a week worth of pain pills, and then they told me my appointment was in 3 weeks. So I had 2 weeks of just total hell. I don't drink anymore, so I couldn't treat myself that way. But thankfully, I went in and talked to my podiatrist yesterday, and he put me on this stuff called gabapentin, which is a epilepsy medicine mostly, but it's been found to really help with nerve pain and nerve damage, right? So I just started it yesterday, and this is why I didn't update yesterday, because I was at my doctor's appointment. I took one as soon as I got my prescription, and then I took one right before bed. My doctor said take 3 a day maximum. Start off with 1, work your way up to 2, and see how that does. If 2's controlling it, then that's fine. If not, go up to 3 a day. So yesterday I just started with 2, because I'm that kind of guy. And I woke up this morning and I realized, holy crap, it's 5:30 in the morning. My foot did not wake me up last night, and it's not really hurting me this morning. I got out of bed, put some pressure on it. It's still tingling a little bit, but not the pain. 1 day, 2 pills, my pain's gone. Why couldn't they have given that to me 4 weeks ago? But I know gabapentin's not good for you. But if it gets rid of the nerve pain in my foot, and it stops that absolute terrible pain, I mean, if you don't have osteoarthritis, you don't know. It's impossible almost to describe the pain. I don't know how to describe it. And my doctor told me I hear that all the time because he asked me. Anyway, so he gave me the gabapentin, and also diabetics, you get really terribly dry feet. And he asked me, my feet were dry when I went in yesterday, and he asked me if I'm using anything, and I told him I was. I was using CeraVe moisturizing cream and lotion every night. It really cleared up a lot, but still super dry. He gave me this stuff. It's called, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's called because I can't pronounce it. But I will post a picture of it if you can't see that. Anyway, he gave me some of that to put on my foot too. So I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to tonight. And I'm going to report on both of those things. So far, not a scientific fact, but the gabapentin let me sleep all night. Or maybe it was just a fluke. But honestly, I'm sure it was the gabapentin because I haven't had a full night's sleep in weeks and weeks. Thank you, Dr. Rose. Really appreciate it. I think it's awful what pharmaceutical companies do. I think it's terrible that they've had to take Mounjaro and rebrand it into a product called Zepbound so they can sell it to obese people, overweight people for more. And that's what it is, it seems to me. It's like a fat tax, right? Oh, you're not diabetic? Well, you get to pay extra, right? Because if what I'm hearing is truth, Mounjaro is less expensive than Zepbound. I'm not sure that that's the truth, but if it is, that's some bullcrap. And a lot of people are telling me that they're unable to get the medication. They're unable to get it because the shortages are terrible. I just went on to an online pharmacy, and I've got a recurring order that kicks in every month or so. So it's getting ordered, so they have time to get it in. It's being ordered ahead of time. So maybe try that. Maybe that'll work for you. And let us know in the comments if you're one of those folks having problems getting your Mounjaro or your Zepbound, and let us know what part of the United States you're in, because that's important. I'm in Oklahoma City even, and I haven't had any problems lately getting my Mounjaro. I did have some when they messed up my order and I went up there to fill my prescription. They told me that I'd have a day to wait because they had to order it, but it came in right away and I had it. So anyway, who knows? Another comment, user CT71S6UN4J. There, it rolls off the tongue almost. Do you use the same area for injections? That answer for me personally is kind of yes. Sometimes I go on the right side of my belly, and sometimes I go on the left side of my belly. Sometimes I go up here, sometimes I go here, sometimes I go down here, right? I never inject in my thighs. That's another injection spot, and I don't do it because I've lost this weight, and some of that has been muscle off my thighs. Unfortunately, I used to have some thighs, right? But now I got these chicken legs. I know, I'm not going to show you, but I am planning on rebuilding them. They're going to come back. I'm going to have muscular thighs again because these chicken legs look ridiculous on me, honestly. My wife was laughing at me the other day. I was walking in the kitchen in my boxer shorts and nothing but a pair of socks, and she started laughing at me. So I get it, and I know how ridiculous I look. I need to get back in shape, but thank God I lost the weight. Unfortunately, some of that weight came off in muscle, and I think that was before I started the Mounjaro. I was not dieting very healthy, let's put it that way. Anyway, so the answer to that is kind of yes. Belly, I don't inject in my thighs. I don't inject in the back of my arm. Those are the injection spots that they recommend. It's always the belly, right? I'm going to keep doing it because it's working. At Randy Jones 2982, if you go off Mounjaro, will you continue to update each week? The answer to that is I think I'm going to. I kind of like these weekly updates because they kind of keep me accountable, and I've got a lot of shit to be accountable for, believe me, right? My weight, I've got to be accountable for my weight. And I like that people are out there watching, right? Because if I gain 10 pounds, they're going to say, hey, what the hell's going on? Somebody's going to say something, right? But if I keep weighing in and being honest with you guys, that's going to keep me accountable to myself. That helps me. And maybe it helps somebody out there in the community that's like, I need to do that too. If that helps him, maybe it'll help me. It does help me. Putting it on the internet, putting it out there for the public, you know, I'm kind of one of those guys that I don't like failing, right? And I feel like if I gained 10, 20 pounds back, I would be failing, right? but I don't want you guys to see that. So every week I'm going to put out a vlog, tell you what my weight is, tell you what my blood sugar is, even if it's between 90 and 100 like it's been the last many weeks. I'm still going to share that with you because I am still diabetic. Even though my A1C reading now is 5.4, they still consider me diabetic, and I always will be diabetic, so I got to be careful. So that's the answer to that. Yes, I'm going to continue, I think, these things because they help me a lot. The weight loss thing is one thing, blood sugar is another thing, but coming up, it's going to be exercise, right? Now that my foot has been diagnosed and I'm on the road to recovery with the nerve pain, the gabapentin's treating, and my osteoarthritis, not much I can do about that, but it's really the nerve pain that's really the most painful thing. And if I can cure that or at least alleviate some of that, I'll be able to get back and exercise. Right now, my foot is still too sore. My foot is still too sore to get out there and exercise, but as soon as my doctor gives me the go-ahead, I'm gonna start exercising. That's one of the things we talked about. He said, let's see how this gabapentin works. When you come back and see me, let's talk about it. And I'll tell you what your impact can be as far as exercise goes. I may have to start out with just the swimming and the biking, but I really wanna get to the walking and maybe eventually the jogging. I really want to get in shape, you guys. I'm changing my life. My lifestyle has changed. I've realized that some of the things that I was doing, some of the foods, most of the foods, that is, that I was eating weren't good for me. And they were making me fat and killing me and giving me diabetes. I realize that now, and I wish I would have realized it back then because I would have been much more careful. The things that I'm living with now, I'm going to be living with the rest of my life. So, thank God Mounjaro is helping me control that diabetes because I would be dead sooner rather than later without it. And it's also helping me lose weight. It's helped me greatly. And I am very much in Mounjaro's corner. But with that being said, I will say that the side effects for some people can be pretty bad, right? For me, I would say I would put myself in the moderate category as far as side effects. I watch other people's vlogs. They talk about this stuff and they don't even mention anything. Just like it's nothing. They're like, oh, my blood sugar went down and then my weight went down. And they don't talk about any side effects whatsoever. But man, I've gone through it with this stuff. The nausea, the constipation, right? The tiredness now. I'm still going through it, but I'm telling you, all of those situations are getting better. I'm slowly adjusting to this medication. It's my body becoming acclimated to taking this medication, I think, more than anything. So things are getting better week to week for you guys that are out there worried about it and you just started and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this nausea. Just know it gets better. At least it did for me. And I hope it does for you. But for me, it was just a matter of waiting it out and battling through it. The nausea is much better. Anyway. Last comment that I want to read is from Leah D4878. I'm #1 commenters. Great job on your goals. And I've had a lot of great jobs and a lot of attaboy Ben and way to go. And I got to tell you, it makes me smile when I read those comments because nobody's really ever been in my corner as far as these kind of things go. My wife has. You know, she's sympathetic. She knows she's a little overweight herself and probably would benefit from Mounjaro, but she's not diabetic. So she's trying to lose weight on her own right now. But if she can't do it, she's going to talk to the doctor about maybe getting put on Zepbound. But she's trying it on her own. She's not really that overweight, not as much as I was. So I guess that's about it for the week. I'm going to give myself the injection real quick. This is another injection of 5 milligram Mounjaro. It's the last in this box. That's how I know I've been on this stuff for 12 weeks because I've gone through 3 boxes. So 12 weeks I've been on 5 milligrams. So if you're not familiar, if you're new and you're curious to know how this stuff works, I'm going to be this is the injector pen for the Mounjaro that we take. They're changing. They're coming up with injector pens that have multi-injections. So they don't have to waste all this plastic on one pen for one injection. They can make a pen that can do like multiple injections and save some money that way. Pharmaceutical companies are always looking to save money, and I'm sure when they do that and when they're saving themselves money, they'll raise the price on this stuff again. I'm sure of it. Anyway, 5 milligrams Mounjaro today, going in, and I'm going to show you that right now. All right, guys, this will be the end of the video. So if you don't want to see me inject the 5 milligram Mounjaro pen right here into my belly, you can go on and go find something more interesting to watch. I would say you just have to hit the next video and you'll find it, because this is about as interesting as watching paint dry for some people, I'm sure. Anyway, here's my belly situation these days, you guys. Look at that. I still got a little Dunlap, right? These underwears are size 32s. I used to wear size 38s, so they're cutting in a little bit, but my 32 pants, it's weird. They just fall right off of me. Right. All my jeans and stuff don't fit anymore. So anyway, this is where we're at. So last week, I'm not really sure what I injected, left or right. So we're gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that I injected left last week, so we're gonna go with right. I don't think it matters too much. I don't think it matters. I do try to change it up, and I probably should make a notation to myself so when I'm in here doing this, I remember. Maybe I'll do that next week. So, the basics. Injection. Clean the area you want to inject. Very important to clean the area with alcohol, right? You could have some bacteria on your belly or something. Your dog could have licked you there or something. And then when you put the needle in, it puts it into your, underneath your dermis, and then you get an infection. So you don't want that. So it's important to clean it with alcohol, clean the area. And once you're clean the area, let it dry a little bit, right? Let it air dry a little bit. And in the time it takes you to prepare your injection, you should be ready to go. So with the 5 milligram Mounjaro pen, what we're gonna do is, there's a little gray cap on the end of it that we need to remove. That covers up the needle area, which I'll show you. So you can see the needle is in there, right? The needle's in there. So we take that gray cap off to expose that, because we're gonna put that part up against my belly where I cleaned it, right? Now it's important because it says in the directions, make sure that you do it 2 inches, at least 2 inches away from your belly button, right? I got a big belly button, so I go from the edge, right? So I like to get around 2 inches. I still got plenty of fat that I injected in. So sometimes I do it up here, sometimes I do it here, and sometimes I do it here. I think today I'm gonna do it like right here in the middle on this side. So we're gonna place that up against my skin. You don't have to push it too hard, just firmly against the skin, you know, just so that that needle goes in. So you wanna very gently push it up against your skin. You wanna take it from the lock position to the unlock position. Doing this arms it, and when I push this purple button, it's gonna send a plunger, and I'm gonna let you watch. It's gonna send a plunger down this thing, and it's gonna inject me with this Mounjaro. We're gonna know when it's complete after you hear a second click. You'll hear 2 clicks. 1 click when I push the purple button, and the second click when the injection's done. And we'll verify this by looking right here and seeing if the plunger is down here. If the plunger's down here, you're done. In 3, 2, 1, we are injecting for week 18 on Mounjaro. This is my 18th Mounjaro injection. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There's 1 click, 2 clicks. You guys can see the gray plunger? That means it's done. So I can now remove it. Hey you guys, make sure and comment. Let me know that you're out there. Ask any question you want. I'll answer them all. As long as they're not too, you know, off the wall, of course. But I'm happy to answer any questions, especially about Mounjaro. Drop me a like. Give me a comment. We'll talk to you guys next week. The new day is Thursday. And, you know, if you hadn't guessed that already, we'll see you next Thursday, y'all.